Okay, so I was on Reddit the other day and I was on this old like productivity thread, and the question was, what is the single one most habit that changed your life the most? And I was looking through and I was just reading the responses, and so I want to like just read like the top 7 to you, like the most upvoted ones. The first one was get ready every morning, like even if you work from home, no matter what, always get ready in the morning. Don't hit snooze, you snooze, you lose. 3, journal every morning. 4, taking morning walks. 5, no tech in the mornings. 6, work when your energy levels are the highest in the morning. 7, read a book every morning instead of watching the news. And I was like, are we starting to see a pattern with these life-changing habits? Every single one of them is a morning habit. And I thought that that was so fascinating because the question wasn't about mornings at all, or like what morning habit changed your life, but it was just like in general, what changed your life? What habit, if you had to pick one? And I think it's so interesting. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that very early in the morning and very late at night, your subconscious mind is more susceptible to changes and stimulus. It controls like a lot more than we think it does. And so whatever you kind of feed your subconscious mind in the morning, that's how the rest of your day is going to go. Like whatever you do in the morning, you're going to continue doing for the rest of your day. So if you conquer your morning, you really conquer the whole rest of your day. And then if you conquer your days, you conquer your weeks. If you conquer your weeks, you conquer your years and your life. And so I just think that implementing habits that work for you in the morning are one of the most life-changing things that you can do. And I think the biggest thing that it helps with is it gets you in a proactive mindset as opposed to a reactive mindset. Like when I think about goals that I want to achieve in my life, you can't achieve the big goals that you want to in your life from a reactive frame. You just can't. Like I'm the type of person that I think naturally I just would wake up like 20 minutes before I have to leave and I'm racing around and then I go. But that doesn't set me in I'm not very grounded. And so when unexpected things happen, I'm not able to react to them as well as I could. I'm already in a reactive frame, like let alone like I'm not even stable or neutral. So I would just say my advice would be wake up an hour earlier than you normally do if you don't have a good grounding morning routine already in place. And then I like to kind of pick what my morning routine is going to be on a week-to-week basis because sometimes I just need different things. Like sometimes the getting dressed and like doing my makeup really is the part that really helps me, but some weeks it's more like the reading that's really going to help me. So I would just like pick a couple that you want to implement. And so those ideas from Reddit were good, and then I'll go through the ones that I like, what I do. So the first one, like from Reddit, like getting ready, that one really helps me. I don't know why. That was the number 1 most effective according to Reddit, and I think that is very underestimated. It's so easy, but it really helps for some reason. It's weird, like psychologically it just works. Second one, snooze, you lose. Yeah, I think hitting snooze or just laying in bed, that really doesn't work. I set goals, I don't like to think of don't do this, don't hit snooze. So I like to just replace it with something. So instead of saying don't hit snooze, the habit that I've kind of implemented is I wake up and then I immediately go like rinse my eyes with water because that just wakes me up really well if I rinse my eyes with water. One of the most impactful things I think is journaling. So I've had probably 3 different types of journaling exercises that I've done throughout the years. The first one is from The Artist's Way, and it's just for 20 minutes, you just brain dump everything that comes to your mind, just continuous strain of thought, like the pen doesn't stop moving for 20 minutes. And there's something about writing that helps me like slow down my thoughts a little bit because I think faster than I write. And I can find more clarity for some reason when I see it on the page than when it's in my head. It's not any different content than what was already in my head, but for some reason, my ability to process it is a lot better. The second one is this Start Today journal. I've mentioned this several times on the channel. I don't know if she's still selling this actually. But every day you write down 5 things that you're grateful for, and then you write down 10 goals that you're focused on achieving. And just, especially when I was working like intently on YouTube, my side hustle, I think that was really helpful. Just getting me recentered on the bigger vision every day. And then the last one is the 5-minute journal. That's the one I've stuck with the longest. That's my favorite out of all of these because it's very simple and it was designed really intentionally. So you write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make today great. And that is kind of like a mini visualization exercise. Like one thing that I love to do in the mornings is just visualize what's the ideal day. Okay, I go to work and I'm listening to this great Spotify playlist and the weather's great and I'm having such a fun time on my bike ride. And then I get to work and I get all the things prepared. I just kind of go all the way throughout my day and I just kind of outline like, okay, this is how I want it to go if it was perfect. And so in that 5-minute journal, they just say, what are 3 things that would make today great? And so I kind of will visualize what I want my whole day to be and I'll pick like 3 of the main important things and put them there. That in itself is so simple, but just kind of life-changing because I think of things that I wouldn't have thought about, like, oh, this would be a good day to get a coffee. That's something something really easy and I just hadn't thought about it, and that'd be really fun. And then I think a big one that I think a lot of people probably know is just not to go on social media first thing. But again, like, I don't like to think of goals as don't do this. So I would replace it with something like reading. I heard this really good quote, and it was victims love entertainment and victors adore education. And I think, there's like a place for entertainment and education in both, but I can think back to like times in my life when I'm just like really depressed, like really in a negative mindset. And that's when I really lean on entertainment. Like, I'm like, I need to laugh. I need to be entertained. My life's not going good right now. So I just need something else to entertain me. But then when I'm in a more like proactive mindset and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to like actually try to overcome these problems. Then I'm like, okay, what are the tools? What do I need to do? Okay, I'm going to better myself. And then the way you better yourself is just by education. Like, education's like how you become better. And so it's not like you like can never have entertainment, but I just think when you start your day off right away with just like being mindlessly entertained, I just don't think it like sets you off on a right foot. Like, if you like want to be a leader and you want to like reach your goals, I just don't know that like starting off just like with consumption is really the good way. Like, I'd much rather start off with like creation, like by working on the side hustle or by bettering myself. And I just think that that's a much better way to do it. So then the last thing that I thought was really interesting is in Jewish culture, the morning starts the night before. But when you think about like whatever you do the night before really affects the next morning, because the night before you make a lot of decisions, like what time are you going to wake up, how late are you going to stay up, which is going to affect how easily you're going to be able to wake up. Did you have the house clean, which will affect your mood when you wake up. And so you make a lot of decisions at night that really affect how you're going to wake up the next morning. And there's this French cooking technique. I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. Let me see. Okay. Mise En Place. I don't know. I don't speak French in any way, shape, or form. But basically, it's just the idea that when you're cooking, set out the ingredients first. Like, set out all the ingredients first, measure them out, and then you can combine them. And it's just, the reason is just because it's more efficient to like set all the things out, do all the measuring, and then put them all together. And you can catch mistakes. Like, are you out of an ingredient before it's too late? And I just think that the night before is kind of a productivity example of that. Like, set out all the things the night before, so in the morning when you wake up, you're not like finding all of the things. Like, do all the finding the night before and then just like put the clothes on, eat your breakfast, like the things that you've already set out the night before. So yeah, I think just doing like a nightly reset for the morning is so beneficial. I don't understand like why it's so helpful, but if you're gonna implement any new habit in the new year, I would make it a morning habit, because it affects so much and it's very simple. Like, you just pick something that you like. You don't have to implement all these things. But like the most important thing that I would say is just have a morning routine, wake up an hour earlier than you normally do, and it makes you so much more proactive as opposed to reactive. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.